If you take a foundational chemistry course, you will learn collision theory. You will be taught the Arrhenius equation, and you will be shown a model that looks exactly like this. The math here assumes that chemical reactions depend on free-flight ballistic impacts. Molecules are treated as hard spheres in a vacuum, driven entirely by their translational kinetic energy. If they hit each other with enough force, a reaction occurs. But when we look inside a living biological cell, that pristine vacuum completely disappears. We enter an extreme environment defined by macromolecular crowding. Inside the cytoplasm, proteins, nucleic acids, and organelles occupy up to 40% of the total volume. In a space this densely packed and highly viscous, the concept of a free-flight ballistic trajectory breaks down entirely. Molecules here cannot build up translational momentum. Instead, the energy required for chemical work has to come from localized vibrational and electronic excitation. To apply gas phase collision mechanics to the interior of a biological cell is to make a basic error in physics. The classical collision does not actually exist here. Because the cellular interior is so viscous, molecular motion is governed by fixed laws of diffusion and the chaotic jostling of Brownian motion. To calculate how often molecules interact in this environment, biophysicists use the Smoluchowski coagulation equation, modeling the flux of molecules diffusing through a liquid medium. In a solution, reactants experience a solvent cage effect. Surrounding water and biomolecules physically trap two reactants together. They cannot easily escape, and they cannot achieve high-velocity impacts. Instead, they are forced into multiple, prolonged proximity interactions. This trapping effect effectively nullifies the classical Arrhenius pre-exponential frequency factor. The limiting variable is no longer how fast molecules impact each other, but how quickly they can diffuse through the crowded cellular matrix. A biochemical interaction is a prolonged, diffusion-limited entanglement of molecular fields. To understand what happens when these fields entangle, we have to discard the Bohr model of the atom. Treating electrons as solid particles running on fixed tracks makes it impossible to explain how enzymes catalyze reactions. At the subatomic level, a molecular collision is actually the repulsion and eventual merging of electromagnetic fields and electron clouds. The probability of a successful interaction is dictated by the de Broglie wavelength and the spatial density of the electron cloud. It has nothing to do with the radius of a hard sphere. Classical chemistry calls this a steric factor, requiring a specific physical orientation, but in quantum mechanics, this is orbital symmetry. Reactions fail if electron clouds aren't aligned for constructive interference. A nucleophile's lone pair must align precisely with an electrophile's lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. What classical chemistry calls activation energy is the energy required to overcome the Pauli exclusion principle. It is the cost of pushing two highly negative electron clouds together against their own electrostatic repulsion. The physical shape of a molecule is merely a probability distribution. A chemical reaction is simply a successful wave function overlap. As reactants approach and their atomic orbitals begin to distort, they form a temporary high-energy transition state complex. Look at panel B. This illustrates Marcus theory, the physical model for biological charge transfer. For an electron to transfer, it must do so iso-energetically. At the orange intersection point, the initial and final states are at the exact same energy level. To reach this exact energetic equilibrium, the reactant and product environments must temporarily distort. The surrounding molecules literally have to shift their positions. The cost of forcing the surrounding matrix into this geometry is the reorganization energy, denoted by lambda, shown by the blue shaded region. Enzymes catalyze reactions by directly lowering this reorganization energy. They pre-organize the dielectric environment of the active site so that less energy is wasted shifting the surrounding structure. The true barrier to a chemical reaction is the thermodynamic cost of rearranging the solvent around the reactants. Pushing electrons around comes at a steep price. When an amino acid oxidizes, it builds up toxic electrical charge within the low-dielectric environment of the protein. Biology mitigates this through proton-coupled electron transfer. To balance the transfer of an electron, the system simultaneously moves a proton. Both electrons and protons have extremely low mass, allowing them to bypass classical thermodynamics. They do not need to acquire thermal kinetic energy to climb over a transition state barrier. Instead, these wave-like particles engage in quantum tunneling. They pass directly through the potential energy barrier without going over. At standard biological temperatures, enzymatic speed is achieved by bypassing classical thermodynamic barriers through quantum uncertainty. This presents a scaling problem. How does the subatomic transfer of an electron physically move a massive protein complex made of tens of thousands of atoms? Biophysicist Mikhail Wolkenstein developed the electronic-conformational interaction model to answer this. The ECI model divides the enzyme into two coupled subsystems, the highly reactive electronic active site and the macroscopic conformational protein matrix surrounding it. When the electron distribution at the active site changes, it immediately alters the local electromagnetic field. This generates a localized mechanical force. That force propagates outward as a conformational wave, shifting the entire three-dimensional structure of the protein globule. Enzymes are dynamic machines that convert quantum electronic transitions into macroscopic mechanical work. Collision theory assumes that chemical reactions are strictly localized events occurring only between molecules in direct physical contact. Quantum mechanics dictates otherwise. In weakly bound systems like water clusters and biological macromolecules, we observe interatomic Coulombic decay, or ICD. When an inner shell electron vacancy occurs in one atom, the energy is transferred to a completely separate neighboring atom via a classical dipole-dipole interaction, essentially the transfer of a virtual photon. ICD operates across physical distance on a femtosecond timescale. It frequently results in the ionization of the distant atom without any physical impact between the two. This carries severe biological implications. Following radiation exposure, the secondary electrons generated by ICD cause up to 70% of all double-strand breaks in DNA molecules. A localized event triggers a non-local electronic cascade. The entire cellular environment is an active, interconnected quantum web. Standard classical rate equations assume infinite populations of molecules, but inside a single cell, there may only be a few copies of a specific reactant. The deterministic math fails. To accurately model this, researchers use stochastic chemical kinetics and the Gillespie algorithm. These frameworks treat biochemical reactions as random, discrete probability events rather than continuous rates. To understand true biochemical reactivity, computational biologists rely on hybrid simulations known as QMMM, quantum mechanics combined with molecular mechanics. QMMM partitions the analytical problem. The highly reactive active site is mapped using quantum density functional theory, while the vast protein scaffold and surrounding solvent are calculated using classical force fields. We have moved entirely away from the concept of hard spheres colliding in a vacuum. We now measure diffusion rates, calculate orbital wave function overlap, and map system-wide conformational waves. The biological cell is a highly ordered landscape of probability waves, dielectric reorganization, and quantum tunneling.